Hello and welcome back for some more lovely, malicious maths. Mathlicious, I should say. So anyway, last time you were finding the equation of a line, given the gradient and a point on the line, and you're using an equation y equals mx plus b, or y equals mx plus c if you're British, and you would call that the slope y-intercept form. This time, we're still going to be finding the equation of the line. We're still going to be given the gradient m. We're still going to be given a point on the line x1, y1, but now we're going to use a thing called the point-slope equation. And you don't know what the point-slope equation is, so let me explain where it comes from. Do you remember this formula? Stop and see if you can tell me where it's from and when we used it before. Okay, you should recognize it as the gradient formula. The one we use when we're looking for m when we're given 2 points. But you're shouting at the screen now, going, I've written it wrong. Mr. Edwards, you've written it wrong. There should be a 2 written down here in both these positions. Well, I'm going to explain in a minute why there is not a 2. So I'm going to rearrange this. I need this part to disappear. So if I times both sides by x minus x1 here, and also on this side, the x and x minus 1 divides into x minus x1, and they become 1 and disappear. So all that should be left here is y minus y1. And on this side, if we time by x minus x1, we should have m and the parentheses with that expression inside, which I do here. So now the equation we have is y minus y1 equals m parentheses or brackets x minus x1. Okay, m here stands for the gradient. x1, y1 is a particular point on the line, and x and y is what we call the general point. Okay, it represents all the points that are on the line. So when you've got an answer for an equation and have something like y equals 3x plus 7, I'm talking about the y and x in that formula. Okay, and this equation is actually called the point-slope equation. Okay, why? Because we get a point with it and we get a slope number. So what you need to do now is copy these notes down, stop the video, do it now, because then in a second I'm going to do a worked example and you need to be able to look at these notes. So stop and copy it down now, please. Thank you. Okay, have you copied the notes down? Are you sure? Okay, let's turn it over to the other side. Now we're going to do a work example, and we can see it there. So what I have here is a question. Find the equation of a line. Gradient minus 2/3 goes through 9 minus 1. So I go let, and I fill in m is minus 2/3. That's the m value. x1 is 9. y1 is minus 1. Okay, we're going to use this equation. So I've written it down. The next thing to do is to invite Peter and Paul to come. And then we use Peter and Paul to fill in the equation. So here we go. Y is just y. A minus sign is just a minus sign. y1 is going to be minus 1. Equal sign is an equal sign. M here is minus 2/3. Open the parentheses or the brackets. X is x. Minus is minus. And x1 is over here. 9. And then we close it. Now you should be screaming at the screen saying we need to do something straight away. You want to change these two negatives into a positive. So let's do that straight away so you can stop screaming out at the TV. Here we go. Now we could times this parentheses bracket by minus 2/3 and end up with fractions and work with fractions. That's one way of doing it. But we want to go a little bit quicker. And what's really nice about this system is that we can get rid of this 3 first. Now, what we're going to do is this. When you've seen a 3 in this position, what have you normally done? I'll let you think about that until I get to here. Have you got an answer? Let's see if you're right. You would times both sides by 3. Now this 3 divides into this 3 and just becomes 1. So on the right hand side, all we're left with is minus 2 x minus 9. Okay, what happens on this side? Well, we need to times by 3. Now if I just write 3 here and then y plus 1, this looks like the 3 is only multiplying the y, so you must put them in parentheses or brackets. Okay, now it's just a case of doing all the sort of algebra skills that you've already got. Times this out with me as I go along. 3y becomes 3y. 3 times plus 1 becomes plus 3. Minus 2 times x is minus 2x, correct. Negative 2 times negative 9 is minus times a minus is a plus, 2 times 9 is 18. Okay, and you should be finding that very easy to do. Okay, now what do we want to do is always collect like terms. I have a y here. Is there any other y's anywhere else? No. Here's an x. Is there any other x's anywhere? No. So let's have a look. Is there anything else? We have a number here. Is there any other numbers? Yes. So let's put them together. Let's get rid of this one. I have a plus 3. How do I get rid of it? That's right. I would minus 3 from both sides. So here we go. Minus 2x plus 18 minus 3. And if I do it on the right hand side, I have to do it on the left hand side. 3 minus 3 is 0. So all I have to write is this. If I carry on now, what do I have? I have an equation. Okay. Now, if the question asked you for an equation of the line, you have an equation of the line. I would stop there. You've collected all the like terms. It's as neat and tidy as you'd want it. But because I like to take marks off you in an exam or a test, I might say I want your answer to be in slope-intercept form. I like writing it there. Let's write it a bit further across. That wasn't done very well. Slope-intercept. What does that mean? Well, that means I want it in y equals mx plus b form if you're American, or y equals mx plus c form if you're not. This blue's dying a little bit. I could have done with a better pen. So let me show you how I would do that. You would get rid of the 3 by dividing everything by 3. This would become y. This would become minus 2/3 of x. And 15 divided by 3 would become 5. So that is y equals mx plus b form. And what I did, I'll just write this here so you remember, we divided by 3. Okay? Now to try and trick you sometimes, the Americans love to have things in standard form. What does standard form mean? Well, that's when you have this form, ax plus by equals c. So the x and y variables are on the same side. A, B, C are just numbers, but they must be integers. So what I would do is go back to this line. I want x and y on the same side. Well, y is here. Let's bring this x across to be on the same side as the y, and that would become 2x plus 3y equals 15. Voila! We have it in standard form. So let's quickly go through this again. You get the equation, you list your variables, you write the equation, you fill in the numbers. If there's a fraction, you want to get rid of the denominator by times in both sides. When we do that, I should have written that. When we do that, then we can times out the parentheses. I'm going to write one that I put one here so that I've kept the equation balanced, looking back at my working out. Times it out and collect the terms. If you've got them all together, you can stop there. If the question says I want it in slope-intercept, put it in slope-intercept. If the question says put it in standard form, then take your equation and put it in standard form. And then you're finished. Okay? So stop the video. I'm going to move that out a little bit so you can read it a little bit better. I'll move out a little bit there. So you can copy this into your notebook. And then I'm going to do another quick worked example. Okay, I've got a couple of what if questions. What if, when we do this, we just have a number here? I did a more difficult one with a fraction. Well, you just do what it says to do. If the m's 2, you just times out these parentheses. Do it with me. 2 times x, 2x. 2 times minus 3, minus 3. And we have this. And then you just carry on. I would add 3 to both sides. Collect the terms. Finished. Okay. What if you're told that m is 0? Okay, well 0 times anything is 0. Y minus 4. Rearrange it, y equals 4. You should recognise that straight away, do you? It's a horizontal line. It goes through 4 on the y-axis. Okay. What if the line has a gradient that's undefined? Okay, well m is undefined. x1 is 3, y1 is 4. Oh, cannot put an undefined number in, because undefined means there's no number. So you cannot use the equation. So now you have to use your brain. So if I do a quick little picture, dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-doo-doo. Plot the point 3, 4, dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-dooby-doo-doo. Undefined line, what's it going to look like? Show me with your arm. That's right, it's vertical. And when you have a vertical line, you're supposed to, well, that's not a very good vertical line. Bad, Mr. Edwards, bad, Mr. Edwards. That's a little bit better. So, when you have a vertical line, you should know there are no y's in the equation, that it's x equals a number, the number being where it cuts the x-axis. Because at every single point here, the x number is always 3. If x is always 3, x equals 3. It's one that you just need to learn. And the equation is not going to help you. Okay? So copy this down, definitely, this part. If you feel you need this, then do that. And then we get to do some fun and exciting questions. See you next time for some more lovely maths.